everybody, welcome back to another session of the Hopry. I'm Tim Pratt.
And I'm Mark Starr.
And guys, tonight we're actually bringing to you another anniversary beer.
Yeah.
And tonight we're bringing to you a 30th anniversary beer.
That's right.
We're bringing to you a 30th anniversary beer from, I said anniversary.
Anniversary. It is an anniversary.
Good for that one up already.
This is Sierra Nevada's Fritz and Ken's Ale, and it is an Imperial Stout that clocks in at 9.2%. So they've actually got a line of these beers. I think they just released their last beer in the line, which is maybe 4 to 5. I'll have to do some research. I'm sure somebody will correct me, but I think this is one of the first ones that they released, if not the first one. It was a collaboration between
Fritz Maytag
of Anchor Brewing,
Ken Grossman
of Sierra Nevada,
and they actually brewed it on site at Anchor Brewing Company. So you know, it's true collaboration. They brewed it there, and you know, really when it came down to it, Ken of Sierra Nevada wanted really to just kind of reach out to Fritz and say, hey man, you've done some cool things. You know, let's work together on a beer, and this is what they came up with. It's a 30th anniversary. It's supposed to really kind of pay homage to craft brewing in America. Yeah. It's a young thing. I mean, we've got breweries having birthdays all over the place, and you know, we've got a long way to go when it comes to brewing, and
a short time to get there. I couldn't resist.
I love it. We're gonna do what they said can't be done.
Exactly, yeah. And we're going to drink this beer. But no, anyway, this is kind of an homage not only to Sierra Nevada, but to Fritz Maytag, who really is kind of, one of the, I guess, early, brewers of, or the early founders of craft beer. So let's go ahead and get it in a glass. I'm sure people are tired of all of our humor already, but I've really been anxious to try this one.
So we've got, an Imperial Stout, a big Imperial Stout. We want it to be, by textbook, it's going to look like this.
Yeah.
It's going to have a nice, it's got about a finger and a half, a nice head on that. It's a nice khaki color.
The head color is really nice, and the
rich
consistency of it is also really nice.
All really, for the most part, really teeny tiny bubbles. It holds together really nice.
Yeah.
And you hold that thing up to a light, it's dark as night. You just see nothing but your reflection in that glass. And
really, this should be a very well crafted beer. When you have those two names on the bottle, it should be a very well crafted beer. And just from the looks alone, I mean, it looks really amazing. Now, again, it's black like all Imperial Stouts. It's got about the same color head that most Imperial Stouts do, but it just looks very textbook, and that's one of the things that I like about it. When I say textbook, this isn't a Russian Imperial. This is an American Imperial Stout. So,
but it's got nice condition on it from the bottle. You can tell. You can work a nice, a nice thick layer of foam back up on there pretty easily, and it hangs onto it. So. Well crafted is what you would expect, and so far, it's what we're getting by appearance.
Looks great. Well, let's smell it,
yeah.
Man. I'm not getting a whole lot off the nose, to be honest with you. I mean, I think a lot of beers will really kind of pop out at you. This one's not just screaming out of the glass.
I'm getting roasted malt, maybe some chocolate malt, and honestly, that's about it. There's no discernible aromas from the yeast. There's nothing, there's no sugars, it's toasted grain, toasted malt to me, and that's so far about it. And we've actually had this setting out for a little bit too, so it's not ice cold, so we thought we'd be getting a good representation of what it really had to offer.
Yeah, so far I'd say the look is far surpassing the aroma on it, but
yeah.
Well, let's taste it and see if that kind of makes up for some of it. Wow, that's interesting.
There's a richness of flavor in there.
Yeah.
It does have a depth of flavor. Unfortunately, it literally has no aroma. It's very roasty.
Yeah, the palate is a lot different than the nose. I almost get a lot of like smoky bacon out of it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's definitely got those dark roasted malts that you get. I'm not getting a whole lot. I guess there's some coffee in there, more espresso. You know, it's more on the roasted end. It's that smoky character that's really kind of throwing me for a loop.
If there's got to be some sort of smoked malts in here that are giving it that aroma, and there's got to be, you know, a good, you know, I won't say a large portion, but you know, when it comes to those types of, you know, aromatic malts, there's got to be a good hunk of that in there to get that much smoke from it. But it hides.
It's kind of Band-Aidy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. It is a little bit on the back end.
You know, like when you take the piece of paper, you know, the paper wrapping on a Band-Aid, and you pop it open, and you get that initial punch of Band-Aid aroma. It kind of has that, not on the nose, but the way it tastes. It's
kind
strange.
of plasticky.
Yeah, it's strange.
The roastiness and the smokiness does hide some of the booziness, I think, that's in there. It's 9.2. It's not a very viscous beer. It's a little bit on the thinner side of something that you would expect a 9.2% alcohol beer to come in. It's not very syrupy. Not necessarily meaning it's bad. I mean, you know, I think it's gotten a lot of its sugar from the grain bill that was used with. Being as much depth of flavor that from, you know, coming from the grains, I would expect that. But you know, it's
interesting.
I can't describe it. It's smoky. It's a little sticky.
Yeah. It's very unique, you know. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I didn't really expect that from two, you know, breweries that are, I think, what I would consider to be very traditional. You know, not really boundary pushers, if you will, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, there's not a overwhelming hop to it at all, which, you know, Sierra Nevada, I'll say they have, you know, hopping down to a science, you know, even with, you know, a lot of the beers that they do just on a regular basis. And this one doesn't have a, you know, overriding hop to it. You know, it's got to have some in it because there is a lot of alcohol, a lot of, you know, because of that, there's always going to be some, you know, latent sweetness to it. But the roastiness, the bitterness, the maltiness, that stands out more than anything else to me. One thing to me that this beer just doesn't have for some of the, you know, big stouts that I love is that dark fruit, that rich dark fruit, and really this one has none of that. So, you know, if you really like those very strong, bitter, roasty, chocolatey, you know, if you like that without a whole lot of that, you know, kind of, you know, dark fruit sweetness to it, this one, you know, definitely go for it. If you're, you know, if you're in for that kind of punch, don't expect to be overwhelmed by that. I mean, this is one of those that you've got to have a specific taste for. Not that I like it or dislike it. It's just I can tell it definitely fits a profile one way or the other.
I'm really on the fence with this one, and I think, you know, after we shut the camera off and let it kind of warm up a little bit, and, you know, I guess change temperature, flavor, whatever, I'll have a better opinion. But I think we should just do that. So, well, guys, hope you enjoyed another session of the Hopry. My name is Mark Starr.
I'm Tim Pratt. Come back and see us again.
Yep. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.